First of all, how are you?
I'm okay, yeah.
Just about.
Yeah, bit flu, but okay.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Look, it's not been the best starts of the season,
Yeah.
I guess. How do you reflect on it? I was talking to Thomas Tuchel, and he said that he feels his team is very much work in progress at the beginning of the season. Do you feel the same with Leicester?
Yeah, I think that Vicky, we've had 2 and about 3/4 years working together where the sun has shone on us, and it's been fantastic. And the players have progressed, and everything's progressed, and we've set an expectation now, which is great, and that's what you want. So we've not got to that standard as of yet. Some decent performances, but in the main we've been okay. So we need to just get our focus again, and there's no magic formula with it. It's just hard work, and it's and I believe I'm very fortunate. The players are absolutely brilliant here, and they have been and will be throughout my time. And but we just got to get back to the fundamentals, and that's something that is time.
You talk about confidence. One player that has played in the past with superb confidence is James Maddison, and yet at the moment, it did look sparky yesterday, but at the moment he's kind of not there at the moment. In terms of you bringing him on the other day, and you got booed from the crowd, and him coming on as a replacement, how did he cope with that? Has that knocked his confidence as well?
He's very strong-minded, James. And he will get back to the level. I thought in the game last night when he came into it, he was much more like himself.
Yeah,
it's what happens to every player, Vicky. The confidence. It's something that is there, and for James, this is probably the first time in his career where there's been a little bump.
Yeah.
But I've got absolutely no doubt he will react the way we would want him to, and I've seen that. He's working very, very hard in his training, and he is such an important player and a fantastic player, and I'm his biggest supporter. I've always defend that my job as the leader is to protect him, but also tell him. But he's a fabulous player, and he will return to that level. It's just making sure that you're working hard, and that confidence comes from hard work, and then he'll get back to the level that he was at, no doubt.
Did it surprise you, the reaction from the crowd? Because that's got to be the first time that the Leicester fans have ever seemed to turn on you, as it were. Did that surprise you? Did it shock you?
I never really thought of it, to be honest. Like I said, it's the supporters have been very, very good for me since I've been here.
With good reason.
Well, absolutely. But it's also modern football as well.
Yeah.
It can all change very quickly. I'm experienced enough now to not get too moved by it. Like I said, I'll always respect the opinion of supporters, just so long as it doesn't create an environment where the players can't continue to do what they have done, because that's something that I've tried to create since I've come into here. You
talk about the fact that you're in Poland yesterday, and then you've got a couple of days, and then you're at Palace. Is it tough? I mean, obviously you want to be in Europe, but that brings with it its own problems, doesn't it? Certainly at the moment, it's a relentless schedule.
Yeah, but I said to the players when I first come in here, I said, listen, our idea is to get to Europe. If you're playing one game a week, you're on holiday. So our ambition was to go from where the club and the team was in mid-table into challenging the very best in this league. And hopefully that with that challenge and having that mentality, we could find ourselves into Europe. So thankfully over these last couple of years, we've been able to do that. The challenge always then is for clubs like ourselves is having a squad that can compete on all fronts. And that's something that we try to do in the summer.
Do you feel you've got that?
Yes, when everyone's fit. That's always the issue, because we've had Johnny Evans out for most, and he's the real brain in our defence. Every player that plays with Johnny is a better player because of him and his organisational qualities. So we've missed him and one or two others. Obviously, Wesley Fofana was a huge blow for us. So those two have been very, very good for us.
And do you feel that's limiting you're having frustrations at the back as a result of that at the moment then?
No, listen, it's when you lose players of that quality, of course, but we've brought players in, and we've had to do it virtually in the last 18 months. We've had long periods where we've had individual players of real quality that have been out, So we've had to innovate and adapt.
One player that just is a shining light, I guess, for you at the moment is Jamie Vardy, because I remember the last time we spoke, he was struggling for goals. That's not happening for him at the moment. He's electric, isn't he, again?
Well, again, it's that adage of time and patience, and as I said at that time, with you, he's a top-class striker, and for me, it's never a problem as long as players are working hard and they're super committed to what it is you were doing. He just was unfortunate in that run he had. But if you look at him beginning of the season, he's a real threat. He's playing on the back line. He's running, stretching teams, and his finishing's been great. So, and that's the same with all players. Is that they go through a run, you got to support them, you got to help them, you got to be direct with them and let them know and where they can improve. But the likes of Jamie is, he's a fantastic striker.
Obviously, you got Crystal Palace at the weekend. One of their bright players is someone you know well, Odsonne Edouard. Of course, you brought him in at Celtic, didn't you? What sort of player is he? Is he going to cause you problems, do you think, at the weekend?
Yeah, Odsonne's outstanding player. We brought him in, and at PSG he was one of the leading goal scorers in their history coming through. Obviously, a great record with the French national teams at youth age. So he was a big talent. He came to Celtic, and he was so good. He has everything. He's a natural goal scorer. He gets into the positions to score. You see him when he come on, and his first games against Tottenham, where he got his goal, and so he's instinctively knows where the goal is. His movement's very good. He can receive the ball short. He can link up the game. He's got decent pace. He can run in behind, and like I said, he'll always be in there to finish. So, and I think once he adapts to the competition in the Premier League and the speed of it and everything else, I think he'll be fantastic for Crystal Palace.
I asked this to Jurgen Klopp and I was fascinated to hear the answer. Is this the best job in the world, being a football manager? He seemed to think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, no, absolutely. It's funny, I think with experience, like you speak to Jurgen, and I think the more experience, and he's got more experience than me, but what, I'm 600 odd games in now as a manager, and I think the little period, the little bump that we have now, maybe at the beginning of the career, it's tough, but as you learn and go through your career, you realise that you've worked so hard in your profession, and you give everything to it, and no matter, you're going to have moments where it's not so good. That's natural. What
do you do with those moments when it's not so good? Where do you go? Where do you counsel yourself? I know you read a lot, don't you?
Yeah, but just stay calm. I think you learn to not overthink it. I think that's key. I work with amazing people. I've got great support, within the club. I'm allowed to develop the team how I want to. The ownership, amazing, and obviously my relationship with the players coming into here. My job is not to be the friend, but to help them and support them, and for us all to be the best that we could be. And we've been on this great journey together. So, and sometimes there's bends in the path, but yeah, I'm very, very lucky to be doing something that I love. Just
finally, if we look back at your career in the next, say, 15, 20 years' time, what will be your legacy? What do you think? What do you hope to achieve? Will you be in the game for the next 20 years, do you think?
I'm not sure. My initial target, Vicky, was to get to 1,000 games.
Really?
Yeah, that was...
Okay, so you're getting there?
So, still a way to go. Yeah, I seen Jose the other week there get to 1,000. So that was my initial plan. Could I get to that? So I'm 48 now, and so hopefully the next... And I think in the first period of my career as a manager, I was learning, I was developing, I made mistakes, and as you do. But I would like to think this next period of my career, I'll be at my best, and with the experience that I've gained, and obviously the constant learning. So when I look back, I only hope that my legacy is that if I bump into a player or see someone at any club that, because for me legacy is about feeling. You can look at trophies, you can look at everything, but that's not really, I want to win, of course, but for me it's always about the feeling. And if I was ever at a club and there was a great feeling in the club, through winning, through developing, through performing, then that will make me happy. Much more than if I had 30 or 40 trophies.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely, because that's a
Wow.
consequence. My priority was always teaching, helping, and I think that's my nature, to support and help and try and improve personally, but obviously, of course, the young guys and people that I work with.
Brilliant.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks, Brendan.